Welcome to the Story Shack. Pop a
It's
seat.
that time again.
It's that time again. I hope you enjoyed our lovely Valentine's gift to you. We're continuing our month of love with a movie that I didn't really love, called P.S. I Love You.
Oh, I love you too, Jake.
No,
So nice of you.
that's the name of the movie.
Yeah, I know there's the name of a movie, but I thought you were. Never mind.
Oh, you thought I
Anyways,
was like
yeah,
P.S. I Love You is our movie, but also P.S.
yeah,
I Love You.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you didn't get me anything for Valentine's besides our bonus episode, which again, if no one listened to, you should go listen to that
Yeah.
from Valentine's Day. But yeah, yes, this is 2007's P.S. I Love You, as Jake has already mentioned. Thermometer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess. Honestly, I'm gonna go like low 80s for the audience and 70s for the critics.
All right. It's at 25% from the critics.
What?
Very low. But an 80% in the audience. That's
Okay.
a big difference.
I should have
for once.
gone with my gut
Yeah.
then and gone a
It's
little
okay.
lower with that.
Yeah, I personally, I kind of want to hear your takes on it. I like it, and I have liked it. It did feel a little too sappy, I want to say, but I'll give you my other takes on it in a minute. What do you think about it?
Here are my takeaways. It just doesn't start very strong. Like, their pacing is all over the place. It drags on really hard in that first act, where, like, their opening fight could have been, like, half that, and we would have gotten the point.
Good point. I can see that.
And then everything, like, before she goes to Ireland or any of that, like, her being sad and mopey is just so dragged out and so long that it just, like, takes me out of it. It's like, yeah, okay, your husband died, but I'm like, let's get on with it. Like,
Wow.
not like her as the character, but like,
wow.
not her as the character, but like us as somebody watching the movie. Like, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, it also doesn't give us enough time to like kind of feel for her. Like, they have one scene together, and then it's mostly a fight that they then end amicably after he runs out and comes back in and, oh, baby, we can never fight. And that's like all we have of their relationship, given we find out more throughout the movie, but we don't have any kind of bearing to their relationship in the beginning. So then he dies, and it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, what's this movie about?
So what is it? What, was it too slow paced for you, or was it not? Or was it you couldn't connect with her? Because I feel like that it's kind of contradictory in that they gave us more time with her, and then her being sad, and we can't feel sorry for her, but we should. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
It was too slow, but I couldn't connect with her. But maybe giving us all that time should be enough to connect with her, and in the them fighting.
Well,
relate to them fighting. At least, maybe.
Them giving us all that time to connect there would have worked if we would have connected with her. But I couldn't connect with her just randomly watching old-timey movies and singing and doing the things that he was kind of doing. Like, I get it, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't fully.
Maybe they did the same thing a little too much, because they did the show movie thing like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
There. It's like, oh, we get, and then they commented about it.
Yeah.
A little bit. So.
And then
I think you just don't like Hilary Swank.
I like her in this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah.
So, and then it gets better. Like, once we actually get to like the point of the movie and him sending these things on her birthday and like all these things coming up, like it works for me. Like, I like that part of it. That feels like, well paced, thought out. Like, this is based on a book, and I feel like the book is just, it starts at her birthday and her being depressed. And then through that, we get, their relationship, and we get to kind of see some more moments of them meeting and how that all happened. And then I kind of connect with it, and then I kind of feel for her. But unfortunately, all those scenes have already passed. So then it gets weird again in the third act, because she comes back, she like sleeps with the guy that was friends with him in Ireland, and she comes back and there's been this Daniel guy this entire time that they've been like hinting at and leading up to, that he's like gonna be the love interest.
Yeah.
And they do this big romantic thing and they kiss, and then they both just pull away like, oh, that was like kissing my sister. Oh, it's weird. Oh, it doesn't work out. And she hops back on a fucking plane, goes to Ireland, goes to the guy that she had a fucking, that reminds her of her husband. And he's never going to live up to what her husband was to her, but he just reminds her of him. So, like, they don't...
Yeah, I guess that is a little weird.
Like, they're never going to have a fulfilling relationship. I always ask you at the end, but I'm going to tell you right now at the beginning, these people don't end up together. They took a long trip. They're eventually
obsessed with their husband. It might be a good transition to...
Maybe.
My thought was it's kind of a nice transition from, like, because she hadn't slept with anyone in a long time, that to ease her out of it, which I feel like was kind of his plan.
Yeah.
Which I think the way that her husband planned out everything worked out fine and made sense for her, like, because he knows her enough and everyone else, like, that they're predictable enough. I like that aspect, that, like, because a lot of people are pretty predictable, but the fact that he knows everyone well enough to know exactly what to say to them and where to place them at the right time. It seems
right.
Like some of it's probably coincidence, like that old friend being there, but there's something that tells me that he probably knew that she would go there,
right,
and would most likely run into him or someone else that...
I mean, it's just... I just don't like that in the first act when she's all sad, they have that nice moment at her birthday party where, you know, I think you're hot. And he's just kind of like, he explains his personality, and like, you're like, oh, this is going to be the guy that she ends up with. And then they throw that twist in at the end of like, oh, no, it doesn't work out. And it's like, well, then what the fuck was the point of showing us throughout this if you're just going to go back to the guy that you spent one night with, and then he told you some nice stories about your husband that you maybe didn't know, and then you're just with him. And also your mom might be hooking up with his dad, so it's going to be a weird Thanksgiving.
Okay, so I'll give you that one. Maybe they hook up, and then like I said, they don't stay together. That Hilary Swank's character doesn't stay with.
I mean, honestly, he's the rebound.
Yeah, definitely.
So then she goes back to the rebound, and then she's eventually going to leave him and then go back to New York and then get with the guy that was...
I don't think she intended to see him right then in the thing that we see.
No, she knew where she was going. She knew what she was doing.
Said he did the, not the lifeguard, but whatever, for a couple of days a week, and it sounded like he only did that and like played music a little bit. I don't think he mentioned anything else, and this is like months later.
Yeah, but if she goes back to like the village that he's at that they met, then like, oh, I just happen to be in town in the same small Irish village that you're at. What a coinky dink. Let's go bang. Like, no, it's just like, I like the stuff about him leaving little things after he dies to like help her get closure. But I don't feel like it works because she goes back to the guy that exactly reminds her of her husband, and she can't let him go.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, like, I could have done without that, and then you could have just done the letdown with Daniel and just left it at that, too. But then she's moved on in other areas.
Exactly. She's got her career. She's doing the shoe thing.
Subvert our expectations with Daniel, maybe. Or, but I think my thought on the whole movie as a whole was, you think, okay, this is supposed to be kind of like a romantic comedy or romantic whatever. I don't know if it's like comedy, drama, romance. Yeah. Because it's more sad. I feel like it's not just this love story, but this story of mourning and how to deal with it.
How to overcome grief.
And cope. Yeah, grief. Thank you. Yeah, that's probably like how to overcome grief and when you're in mourning and everything. And so it's more of a journey of that with her, but through the help of her dead husband.
Right.
To then also learn how to move on eventually.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there are certain things that I do like about this movie. Like, Gerard Butler's pretty good in it. I enjoyed him.
Good.
I enjoyed Harry Connick Jr. in it. I liked the whole, like, her mom was the one that helped him set it all up. And, you know, her still kind of playing the bad guy that, you know, said it was going to be a bad idea. Her friends are a little weird. Like, we kind of were with them for so long throughout it, and then it feels like the third act, one of them has a baby and one of them gets married, and they just kind of move on and are, I don't know, they kind of pop up here and there, but they're not as central to the point.
Yeah, I think it just shows how life is going to keep moving on. That your friends are still going to get married and have kids. And
right.
I think personally that can be a driving factor to be like, well, that's like, where do I see myself in life? And so it could push me to move on, maybe, if I felt like those were also things I still wanted,
right?
Even if my spouse just died.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's 100% the reason why that would be in there. It does, but it does feel like it's kind of just there, and then it just happens.
Yeah.
And then they have a kind of falling out or whatever, it seemed like, because she hadn't talked to them for months.
Right. She goes back and gets reclusive and then finds her shoe
thing, yeah. To pull her out of it.
Which, you know, like, I wish she would have gone more, I mean, I guess she does go full into that, but I wish we would have seen more of, like, rather than it being a montage of her going to this class and just, like, learning things from the teacher, like, have that be where she meets a dude.
So you want montage maybe of the fights and the relationship early on, or completely do away with, I guess, maybe just lead us through.
No, I mean, you can.
And hold on, and you want to linger out the boring shoe art stuff. Okay, I got you.
Right. Yes. So, okay, here we go. All right. So you start off in the beginning. You have her everybody's at the funeral telling stories about Jerry, and they're all kind of reliving him in their own way. And all she can
start with that.
Yeah, start with that.
I like it because it gives you the, well, what? Who's this? Like, maybe you don't introduce that to her husband.
And then
like 5 minutes in.
And then everybody's has their nice thoughts and stuff, but she's thinking about the fights and then them making up and, like, you know, all the troubles they had, or I mean, they didn't even really have troubles. They just started a fight for no reason. But you can kind of tell they've done this before. So, like, you know, the absence and the fight makes the relationship stronger because you know what you're fighting for. So she's focusing on the fights. Everybody's having these things. You know, she's depressed. And then you play it as usual. And then you get to the fucking shoe part. And instead of having Daniel be there, like, have him be a supportive friend, they can still have that friendship relationship. Because her other friends move on. So she has that gap there. Daniel can fill that gap. Have her go to this shoe class, do this. She happens to meet a nice guy that's there. That, oh, my name's Jerry. I'm not Irish. I don't sing. But I have the same name as your husband. Oh, that's crazy. My husband died. Maybe you like shoes too?
Maybe she just has a type.
That's fine if she has a type.
Then don't knock her for liking another Irishman. Come on.
I'm not knocking her for liking another Irishman. I'm I'm knocking her for not getting over her husband, which was the point of the movie.
But I think she did, just slowly.
No.
She didn't let go of that last little bit. She found more of a passion, a new career that's blooming, maybe at least, right? And
so she goes to the shoe fashion capital of the world.
One night stand, which obviously I know that guy comes back up, but she does that. Then she like the thing with Daniel that's kind of sad is he does mention that he does like her and doesn't want to just be the friend. And so I think that's another way to nudge her into like, it's not just about you and your mourning, like you're now affecting other people,
right,
who like actually have a connection with you and want to have that connection. So then for just like, who cares that they didn't, there's no spark when they kissed, because that can't happen. Right. I think it's just another way to nudge her along.
Yeah.
Is him, which also I don't think he wouldn't have been a planned part from her husband's thing. So that was also another thing that was just kind of happening, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as stories considered, or goes, and the character development goes, I feel like it's not a terrible way. I can't believe I'm hardcore defending the movie because I don't really care that much, but I don't buy it 100% with what you're saying. I get what you're saying, the pacing, definitely, because by the time you see all these, like, a few weeks later, another few weeks later, 12 hours later, you know, like, just more of that was, like, that kind of dragged on, too, and you're right with the pace. I like your beginning. The way you describe the beginning can work really well.
Like, it had some pacing issues. It could have been 30 minutes shorter.
Yeah, it was over 2 hours, so I get it.
And
that's
just
long.
like, don't go back to the Irish guy. Or how could they do it in a better way that would make me happy? No, I'm fine with Irish people. I just hate that, like...
You're jealous of their accent.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
Yeah,
I just hate that they let us on with this Daniel story to then, for pretty much no reason and no indication that it was going to happen, just like take the spark out of it, and then she just hops back on a plane and goes back to Ireland, and it's just like, what are you doing? She wanted to go show her mom places in Ireland that Jerry was from, when her mom didn't even really like Jerry.
That she didn't seem the whole way along. I don't think she seemed that interested in Daniel. It was more him into her, and then she was probably worried she was hung up on her husband. So I'm not too sure. You know what I mean? Like, because she even, I feel like she said something about that, and then obviously she's calling him Jerry.
Right. Right. So she's hung up on her husband, so she's going back to the exact same person.
Okay, and I just walked right back into your other argument with that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She's just continually hung up on her husband. Any relationship that she gets in that isn't with her husband is going to fail. This couple at the end of this movie, despite her going to the Irishman, I don't think it would have worked out with Daniel anyways, but like... Yeah. Introduce a different guy that's in her shoe class where they have a common interest. It's her new life. It's a new beginning. It's a new start. Introduce a new guy that's not involved with any of the previous things so that she can actually move on rather than her being...
I was throwing my hands up.
Oh.
I have a better ending. It's one of those like, oh, more could happen, which they do, but it's that guy, right? You do not in the class, because she already did the class, but like she's in her store selling shoes, and a guy comes, because he's looking for shoes. That's probably for somebody, unless it's like his sister. I don't know. I was trying to think if you have one of those moments where she's like helping the guy out, and then they have a little like quiet, flirtatious look thing, and then it just goes to black or whatever. Right. Like where it's like, oh, you get the sense that she might actually be able to move on. You know what I mean? Like something like that where you don't even have to say much. You don't keep the Irish guy in there. Daniel's long gone with, as far as, maybe they'll be friends still, but is that better? Would that be better? You just end
a guy comes into her shop or whatever, and he's got a daughter or something. That's who he's shopping for. Her mom just passed away.
There you go.
Boom. They've got a similar interest. Exactly. It's her new life. It's a new character. She's not holding on to the past. She's moving forward.
Yeah. Maybe with that idea, maybe she can help him like get past having lost.
And he can be Irish. I don't care.
That's true. That would almost make it kind of funny, but it's not the same. He's like a third Irish person just comes in, the accent, and it's like, oh,
no, okay, wait. No. The guy is American, but the girl, when she comes in, she's got like a little shamrock or something on her, and she's got a little Irish accent, and she goes, "Oh, I love your accent," and he comes up and goes, "Oh, her mother was Irish."
Wow,
P.S. I love you. Fucking god damn it, Hollywood, call me up. I would watch that movie. I'd enjoy the shit out of that movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-listen to this and rewrite that entire script.
You can make a better one for sure.
Yeah.
Can you help me find it?
Yeah, I will. I said 2 minutes.
But yeah, final thoughts?
I enjoyed it. It's not the greatest movie. It's a bit of a tearjerker, I feel like.
Yeah, I think there was a moment that got me. I don't remember what it was, but
that's how insignificant it was for you. So
yeah.
But
I get it. Jake doesn't like the movie. I like it. It's not my favorite rom-com.
I like the movie I just came up with for it.
Yeah, I do like yours better, so I will grant you that. Okay. That's good. We between the beginning, some of the stuff in the middle we talked about tweaking kind of, and then the ending.
Yeah.
Good. Grant solved. All right. Hollywood can call you up.
Perfect.
Have your agent talk to my agent, and yeah.
I will be by the phone.